As the border crisis continues to escalate, crime inside the country is also going up. And our government have decided to send the British police and the NCA to North Africa to deal with criminals over there. Because they think if they arrest a couple of people smugglers, everything is going to be fine. No one wants to come here anymore. Yeah, right. Okay, what's going on in this video? We're going to talk to you guys about the rise of illegal migration, not genuine asylum seekers. And we're not even talking about mass legal economic migration. There's a whole different issues for a whole different video. This is about what we've been dealing with between France and the UK. But the initial point is from the Middle East and North Africa going to places like Italy and Greece. And then they go through other countries and they get to France and then they come to the UK. They don't seek asylum in France or Germany or Greece or Italy. They come here. Now, everybody is suddenly from Syria. This is about 10 years ago. A couple of years ago, everybody suddenly became Afghan. And I have no idea what's going on right now with the mentality of our government, who thought what we should do is we should send the NCA and the police to places like Tunisia and Algeria on taxpayers' money to go and arrest people smugglers, to help them, their governments, to arrest the people smugglers. This sort of arrangement wouldn't even work with France. We've tried these sort of things. We've made so many deals with Macron and his government to go and stop the migrants from getting on boats from there. It doesn't work. And this is exactly why we've been saying, if you want to make things better, we have to make this country less attractive to people smugglers. You cannot allow people to come here without getting prosecuted or without getting deported. And instead we just give them all the freebies, free Domino's pizzas and housing and everything else. That's the issue. It's not the people smugglers. Also, are we really sending these guys to North Africa? We're seriously sending the woke NCA, the National Crime Agency police officers with their rainbow flag to North Africa to deal with the alpha male people smugglers. Like, we are here to have a conversation with you. Can you please stop sending migrants to Europe? Now, all this was because of the outrage we had in Italy. Meloni in Italy, who's vowed to actually work with the British government against the European Union to help both countries with illegal migration. Now, her government have said that the number of migrants will reach 400,000. That's 4 times compared to last year. That will seek to enter Italy from North Africa. This is just in 2023. Many of them will be aiming to move to Britain via France afterwards. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And this is why we have to all work together. And we know that. But now you look at the backlog, which is the biggest obsession for people like Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak. And you have the number of small boats arrivals, and you've got the actual asylum applicants. Then you've got awaiting decisions, huge number again. Then you've got applications withdrawn. Over 2,000 people decided to withdraw their application. How dodgy were they? That they decided to withdraw the applications, and then of course everybody else. But most of the time, the actual rates of approvals are huge. Even when it came to the Albanian migrants, who are an ally and member of NATO and everything else, compared to any other country in Europe, we just say yes to a lot of these people, even though they're not asylum seekers. That's the biggest issue. It's not just the backlog. It's the fact that we say yes after going through the applications. So that's the other thing that needs to be sorted, instead of just sending more officers or some sort of security forces to France or Africa to deal with people smuggled in those countries. That's their problem. We have to protect our border. Now, we've got Robert Generic government minister to say that we are taking the fight to the people smuggling gangs upstream to help prevent dangerous and unnecessary journeys long before migrants are within reach of the UK. Just as we have deepened diplomatic and security cooperation on illegal migration with France, Italy and Albania, we are working to enhance our cooperation with other key transit and source countries for migration to tackle this shared challenge. It is right that we use all the assets of the state to disrupt, degrade, and deny gangs at source. I'm not fully convinced, Mr. generic, because again, it's not really our job to police other countries' borders and their crimes and people smugglers. What we have to do is just protect our borders. Make sure, as I said, do not make it so attractive for people to come here in the first place. Do not just say yes to all the applications, and don't try your best to actually do something about the Rwanda plan or any other deportation plan that you have. Leave ECHR. You cannot do anything unless you do something about that. European judges are still telling us what to do despite Brexit. That's not normal behavior. That's just not normal for any individual country as a sovereign nation. Now, you can see that when it came to the types of migrants, again, this is 2022 data in December. The so-called humanitarian routes is still huge. Then you got the student visas, which has gone a little bit down, but they always go down a little bit, but come back up again, depending on what month we're talking about. Work visas are still high. It's quite interesting because when you look at work, family, and other, and on this graph, you can actually see, oh, they're much lower, right? But when you look at the numbers on the left-hand side, you can see if the yellow one and the darker one, the humanitarian route, didn't exist on this graph, the work visas will be the highest one and it will look scarier. Look at the numbers. It's almost 250,000 people. This is mass legal economic migration that is coming to the country. Now, of course, short term, it helps with GDP growth. Ooh. But there's massive medium and long-term consequences to any country when you just bring in people instead of training up your own workers. And again, the lack of cultural integration, that's also a huge problem. We will continue to hold them to account. The best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.